Hello everyone, welcome back to me! How are we all doing today on the YouTube channel? I want to apologise here if you see me wearing this same shirt as the last video or two. I promise you I'm not gross, I just did a lot of these at the same time, so it's fine. Today I'm going to be showing off my Crystron train deck profile. A pal from locals, Tyab, shout out Tyab, was playing this deck and I saw it, and it scratched an itch in my brain that I like about certain decks and strategies. And that itch is the exact same one that gets scratched when I play something like Fairy Tale Magistus, where there are these two strategies that have a common connecting factor, in this case the typing of the monsters, and they just bridge seamlessly back and forth. Like, there's no weird little combo you gotta do, it's just one, it just does machine stuff or just spellcaster stuff. And this scratches the itch in my brain just right with this deck. It's a fun deck. The ratios of some of the cards really annoy me. I'll go over to the deck profile and I'll show you how it all works. Yeah, some of the ratios of the cards really bother me because I played Pure Crystron, for example. And in Pure Crystron, at the very least when I was still playing it, back in the day when it was kind of a new, or after Suda came out, you would tend to play, I think, like 3 each of these cards. And here you only play 2, so it feels really weird. Your minimum Crystron package is like a 2, a 2, a 1, and a 1. And then the spells, and the trap. And that, I don't like that. It feels really bad. Especially because I think Smike is actually a very good card that can do a lot for the strategy, and he's one of the best starters as well. So this is my take on the Crystron train deck. I'll go over my choices. I'm by no means an expert. I mean no offense to anyone who is in the Earth Machine, the Crystron, or the Train Discords and whatnot, because I think you guys are cool. I like when people get very passionate about their decks, and I don't think anyone gets as passionate about their deck as an Earth Machine player, genuinely. I think there's something that Earth Machine does to people who pick it up, and it's glorious to see people obsess over that deck. Genuinely, I'm not saying that as a joke, I love seeing it. So this is my take on the deck. I hope you guys enjoy. So we've got 3 Night Train Blue Traveler, one of the new cards that came out in Blazing Dominion. Has an effect where you discard a card to add a revolving switch card from deck to hand or from graveyard to hand. Also, it has an unfortunate once per duel effect, which is a great effect. Doesn't need to be once per turn would be fine on this. I don't know why it's once per duel, but it can summon itself and another, I believe, Earth Machine is a machine, and another Earth Machine monster from your graveyard, which is really nice. I don't think this deck needed a once per duel restriction. I'm gonna be so real. It's a good deck. It ain't that good. It's a fun deck, you know. Then I have 1 Heavy Armor Knight Babble Decker. And this is not necessarily a train, but it is a level 10 Earth Machine and does work very well with the strategy. And that's a Machina Citadel. I was considering the Super Midnight Express Bullet, I think it's Bullet Train, that card, which has a lot of graveyard recursion properties and is very good in the grind game. I think this deck doesn't necessarily need to worry about grind game that much a lot of the time. The fields that this deck can set up are like Omni Negate, Monster Negate, Spell Trap Negate, Destroy, Field Wipe. It sets up a lot of extremely impactful interruptions, and then when it gets back to your turn, you can quite easily make a huge rank 10 and just hit for game. So I don't know that this deck needs a grind game that much. It plays to get back to the crackback, and the crackback is always win. So I like Machina Citadel. I like it a lot. I think it's a very good card. Not technically a train, I guess, but I think of it as a train because of the attributes of it. Then on the Crystron stuff, we have 3 Smiger. I think this is a fantastic 1-card starter for the deck. It does play into roll, but it doesn't play into stuff like Imperm, for example. So I was running 3 Scrap Recycler and 1 Smiger. I prefer 3 Smiger, 1 Recycler, because Recycler it is just slightly worse. They're super similar. You could play 3 of each if you wanted to. And in like a 60-card list, which I think there's some argument for, I think 3 of each works well. But I think Scrap Recycler is just marginally worse in that it loses to Imperm, where this sort of doesn't. Then there's 2 Sulfador and 2 Sulfefnir. Standard ratios, again, they bug me. I wish I could just play 3 of each in like a 60-card list, but I opted for a 40-card list, so it's 2 of each. And then 1 copy of Tristeros, because it's a fantastic card. I don't go heavy into the Crystron stuff. I don't go for Citra, don't go for Fistburn or anything like that. I think this is plenty enough. There's no like real bricks here unless you draw too many of something or what have you. I think this works perfectly fine and gets you to your full combo with your like patented Crystron grind game and whatnot. So I think this works perfectly well. I don't think you need too heavily to invest in that. That's my opinion though. Some sort of Earth Machine free agents here. We have one copy of Scrap Recycler because it's integral to all of your like combos and plays. It's a one-card starter in and of itself. I just think it's a little bit worse than Smyger, but that's just my opinion. It's a very good card. You can trigger it like 3-4 times in a turn with this deck. It's very good. One Convex Knight. I was kind of opposed to playing this for a while because it's not a starter, even though it feels like it should be. The effect to send an Earth Machine feels like it should be a starter. There's not a single Earth Machine in the game that you can send from the deck to the graveyard that makes you start playing with this deck, unless you very specifically can link this off, which because of the attack boost it gains, and even before that I think, you can't. So this just going to the graveyard, like just being summoned to the field by itself, doesn't do anything. It's a fantastic extender. It's not a starter, and that bugs me to high heaven, but there you go. And one Regulus, because it's an Earth Machine, it's very good. Searchable, part of your end field, everyone is fantastic. Then we have 3 Ash Blossom, standard, 2 Droll, standard, and 3 Forloss, also standard. Non-engine is, at the moment, not very exciting. You might see some in a bit that is fun. And then running 3 copies of Exceptional Schedule. This card is insane. It's the only, I believe at least, fully one-card combo the deck has. Because a lot of this deck's combos require you to like discard and send cards from the hand or field to the graveyard and whatnot. With the way that this card works, you don't need to do that. Because you can, like for example, the first time you need to discard something, you've added Sulfur by then. So you can discard the Sulfur, and then use Sulfur affecting graveyard to summon itself. So, and it's various bits and bobs like that where you just get spare resources to do fun stuff with this card specifically. Other stuff you need like discards and whatnot. So it's not like the other things are bad, but this is the only one which, if you play it properly, is fully one card, to my knowledge. I'm only running 1 copy of Urgent Schedule. I think this is blasphemous to a lot of Earth Machine players. I'm used to playing decks that have like Crowley, for example, the Magistus. That's a horrible brick as well. Sometimes you just draw it and it sucks, but hopefully the rest of your hand is enough to play through. That's my thought process. I know it maybe is not the correct thought process, but it's the one that I'm going with. 1 copy of Revolving Switchyard. You just kind of need it for some of your plays. It's part of your Night Train Blue Traveler 1-card combo, or 1.5 or whatever. There you go. 3 Crystal Inclusion, absolutely amazing card, one of your best cards in the deck. It lets you play through Droll very easily as well. Great card. 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, kind of custom with this deck because so much of your stuff is usable from the graveyard as well. This next one is kind of a fun option because I did want to, I wanted some removal. I didn't want to play TFA TV, I don't have the space for the extra deck for it, nor for Super Poly, but I did want a quick play removal spell. So I'm playing 3 copies of Pear Bear Scare, which I don't think is a bad card. So this is a really fun card, where when this card becomes good, it becomes bad. And when this card becomes bad, it gets good again. Because it relies on your opponent not playing it. And at the moment, no one's really playing it in Advanced Constructed, so I think it might... I don't know, I think this might have some usage. It's used in Genesis. I've not really seen it played in Advanced Constructed, so I've put it in as a fun option. It comes up. It's not bad. I like it. It's good. It's actually very good. It's a cool tune. And 1 Call by the Grave, which again, fairly standard stuff on that. For the traps, just 1, just cluster. Great card. We're then going to go for the extra deck. We have 1 copy of Clockwork Knight. It is very important for a lot of your plays. I'm still so... Okay, so at the Supreme Darkness sneak peek event, I pulled a QCR one of these. And much later on, I traded it away. Now that would be fine. However, the guy I traded it to lost it. And I'm not mad at the guy, that just, it happens. But it just makes me a bit sad, because I wouldn't mind if this got traded on, and the QCR found itself in someone else's pocket. That's fine. But it makes me sad that it was lost. Like, oh, that's I hope it's okay. I hope it's just waiting to be found and not, you know, in the bin. But yeah, anyway, 1 Clockwork Knight, very good card. The Link Arrow bugs me. That's the only thing about it. The Link Arrow is bad. Other than that, it's a very good card. 1 Clear 4 Genius. You can trigger this multiple times in a turn as well if you have the right hand, because it's not once per turn to search the deck when you summoned 1 each to do to both the spots. 1 Double-Headed Anger Knuckle. The reason I've been so long without deck profiles, by the way, I had like a 2-month break. I've had this deck mostly for most of that time, but I don't like doing deck profiles where I've got to do proxies. I don't mind using proxies for testing and having a bit of fun with that. I wouldn't take them to tournaments as such, but generally speaking, I don't want to make a deck profile with a deck full of proxies. I think I have done with 1 or 2 before, but I don't generally enjoy doing that. I've had such a job getting this card delivered to me. I don't know why. It's taken ages to get this card sent to me, but yeah, there we go. Don't know why. 1 Anger Knuckle, very good card. I don't think it's necessarily integral for all of your plays, but it is a good card at the very least, and it's not a bad thing to have on your end field. Helps you dodge interactions like Imperm and Droplet. It's very good. 1 Platinum Gadget, I like it as part of the Smigo 1-card combo. I don't think it's necessarily needed and as like a must in that, but I think it is very good and it helps your plays go a bit smoother. 1 Zeus, it's just a very good deck for Zeus. 1 Cyber Dragon Infinity and 1 Nova, pretty standard stuff on that. 1 copy of Riverstormer. Again, it's like use your bridge, it gets you from your Crystron into your Earth Machine stuff, your so on and so forth. 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb. This is a pretty darn good card that helps you push for. So, the only thing that I would love to do in this deck, if I were able to get them, is get a playset of Forbidden Crown. Because this deck does so well with Crown. I don't think it's Lieb. Is it? No, it is Lieb, yeah. So Lieb can keep attacking as long as there are, I think, as many... keep attacking monsters, depending on how many materials it has. So it can get like 4 attacks in a turn. And has real big attack. So it's nice to be able to Forbidden Crown something with low attack, and then just douche, 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 and get game. If you have Crown, it's wonderful in this deck. I don't. We have 1 copy of number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Superdora. Just nice thing to have. You basically just sit on that. So if you get like food or something and you don't have a good hand, you can just sit on this during the opponent's turn, make it unaffected. That's it. 4k body, unaffected, just pretty darn good. 1 Superdora Rail Cannon Flying Launcher. This is a bridge to, like, it helps you bridge and go into other plays because it lets you add an Earth Machine and then you can get a normal summon of a machine from extra during that turn. So a very good card in and of itself. It's just nice to be able to sort of extend your plays. Weird to have a rank 10 that's an extender, but it really just is that. 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Rocket. 5,000 attack monster, which has an effect which lets you negate a monster effect. I think it destroys, and then inflicts damage to your opponent. This is a very good card, and you can cheat it out by just discarding a card to summon it over this. Your standard Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, which I've had this for absolutely years. This card I've had for... When did CT 10 come out? I've had it since then, because I pulled it in that. So I've had this card for years, and I'm using it. It feels nice. There is a fun thing that happens with this deck where you basically summon this during your standard combo, use the effect to burn for 2,000, and your opponent will go, oh, it's FTK. Like, no, I'm not doing FTK. It's just that you might as well use it, you know, which is fun. Synchro package, 1 Dawn Dragster and 1 Eleskeletus. I don't like playing more than that. I know a lot of people play the Crystron Quarion Gundax. Crystron Quarion Gundrax, there we go, difficult name, and something like, what do you call it, the Centurion stuff, but I like that, small package there. Side deck. Side deck is kind of a work in progress, but I like it for the most part. We have 2 copies of Convex Knight, the other 2 copies. I was siding all 3, but these are very nice for going first because they just help you play through a lot of interruptions. I tend to side these in against decks where I know I'm going to get hand interactions a lot, like Cool Tune, because they just help you extend your plays and whatnot. They're not starters, but they're great extenders. 3 Meows, again, I'm not ready to let it go. 3 Perilia. The other copy of Urgent Schedule. I like to have the 2 just to be safe, especially if I'm siding for going first. It's also good going second, is the thing. It's just a very good card. 1 Harpies, 2 Lightning Storm, pretty standard. 1 Anti-Spell, 1 Rivalry, and 1 Solid Judgment. All pretty standard stuff there. I'm going to go over as well, because it's been a while since I've actually properly played this deck, but I'm going to go over what I remember to be, at the very least, the one-card combo from Exceptional Schedule, because it is by far your most explosive combo, and again, I think is the only one-card combo. So you, Exceptional Schedule, you give your opponent a token, which in this case will be Moki Moki, and then you, you add Earnest Schedule, and then option to give your opponent a token. If it were the other way around, it would be insane. Unfortunately, this is not where we live in. You then Earnest Schedule, allows you to summon from your deck a Night Train Blue Traveler and a Scrap Recycler. They are negated, but that's not a problem. So we then want to link off the Scrap Recycler for a Clockwork Knight, then target Recycler with Clockwork Knight, send this, summon it, Recycler effect to send your Crystron Smiger to the graveyard, Smiger effect to add your Inclusion, activate Inclusion, add your Sulfador. You then link these two into Cleave for Genius, and you go for your Night Train Blue Traveler effect to summon these two here. You can do whichever order you want to do on these, Chelling 1, Chelling 2. I generally go 1, 2, doesn't matter that much, but so 1 to add, 2 to send. So sending, in this particular deck, the Machinist Citadel, and then adding the Regulus. I then generally will want to summon the Regulus by summoning it equipped with the Clockwork Knight. It doesn't really matter which one you go with, but there you go. Link these two into your double-headed Anger Knuckle. You go for the effect of the Exceptional Schedule in the graveyard, sending the Clockwork Knight to summon your Machinist Citadel. Overlay, do the doobly-doos, summon Gustav Max, detach to burn, you don't have to, but you might as well, it doesn't hurt. And then you discard the Sulfador to summon Gustav Rocket. You then use Sulfador effect in graveyard to destroy the Inclusion. Sulfador effect to send 2 Crystron cards from deck to graveyard. We go for the Cluster and the Tristeros. Inclusion effect here, summon the Tristeros. Synchro summon, Synchro Shoku into Elescalatus. Elescalatus effect to add the Cluster back to hand. Tristeros effect to destroy the Elescalatus to summon 2 from deck. We're of course going to go, I tend to go 1 of each, you don't have to, you can do 2 Soulfafnir if you want, but I do go 1 of each. And then Elescalatus' other effect to summon Tristeros from graveyard. You then overlay these 2 into your Cyber Dragon Nova, and then rank up for the Infinity. This is everything. This is your quick synchro during the opponent's turn, turning itself into the F8 Dawndraxxus. So you got a spell negate, you have an Omni negate, another Omni negate, a monster negate, a monster pop. You can use that to pop your double-headed Anger Knuckle, or use Anger Knuckle's effect first, I should say, to send something to dodge. Or again, you can just use it on the opponent's thing, but then if you use an Anger Knuckle, you can ensure that you can summon Citadel, which Citadel contribute itself to destroy pretty much everything your opponent controls. Or contribute the Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, which that'll do it even more. But there you go. That's your 1-card combo off of your Exceptional Schedule. Very fun deck. I like it a great deal. Very modular as well. The amount of deck lists I've seen online with this deck that just have so many little one-offs and changes and this, that, and the other. Some people still play Ancient Gearbox, for example, which I find absurd, but hey, you do you, boo-boo. You truly do you. But that is it for me for the time being, everyone. Absolute pleasure to be with you here as per usual, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.